Under the violet skies of Eric's 9, the final negotiations crumbled like dust in the wind. The alien General Vorsk, a towering chitin-armored brute of the Krell Dominion, paced with disdain across the stone courtyard. His clawed feet cracked the marble tiles with every step as the human delegation stood tense, awaiting the verdict that had already been decided in the arrogant sneer carved across his reptilian face. At the center of the human group stood General Elena Pierce. She was not tall by Krell standards, nor physically intimidating, but there was steel beneath her calm eyes and measured stance. She had survived wars, assassinations, orbital sieges, and unlike many, she bore the scars of those battles without apology. Vorsk stopped before her, his amber eyes narrowing. "Negotiations are over," he hissed, the translator at his belt struggling to keep pace with his guttural language. "Your people will surrender or be wiped from this world." Elena said nothing. Around her, the other human officers bristled, their hands twitching towards their sidearms. But she raised one hand, a silent order of restraint. Vorsk's lip curled in amusement. "You think you command respect here, human?" He took a step closer, towering above her. The Krell soldiers behind him let out low, rumbling laughter, the sound vibrating through the still air. Elena didn't flinch. With sudden violence, Vorsk's clawed leg lashed out. His armored boot caught her square in the chest. Bones cracked as she was hurled backwards, colliding with the stone pillars behind her with a dull, sickening thud. Gasps erupted from the human ranks. Some drew weapons. The Krell soldiers leveled plasma rifles in response, but Vorsk merely raised a hand. "Let her live. She will watch as her army burns," he declared, turning away. Elena lay on the ground, struggling for breath. Her ribs were shattered, pain like wildfire through her chest, but her eyes, those cold, calculating eyes, remained fixed on the retreating alien general. Blood pooled at the corner of her mouth, but the faintest curl of a smile touched her lips. An aide knelt beside her. "General, get me medical." "Now," she rasped. "We start the plan." For hours later, the Krell army, 200,000 strong, encamped across the plains outside the human colony of Halcyon Reach. Their ships hung like black daggers in the sky, their armored divisions forming walls of living steel on the ground. They were confident, arrogant. Their leader had humiliated the human commander and broken their will, or so they believed. Within the colony's underground command center, Elena Pierce stood upright, ribs braced with nanofiber wraps, painkillers coursing through her system. The doctors had protested, but orders were orders, and hers were final. Colonel Hayes approached, his face grim. "We still have evacuation shuttles ready, General. If we leave now, some of the civilians might." "No," Elena interrupted coldly. Her voice was iron, stripped of emotion. "No one runs. No one hides. We end this tonight." Hayes hesitated. "Ma'am, their numbers are irrelevant," she snapped. "I warned them not to underestimate humans. They didn't listen." Her fingers danced across the holographic interface, maps and data streams illuminating the darkroom. "They think this is a colony. They think this is a settlement." Her eyes narrowed. "It's not. It's a trap." The room fell silent. Elena turned to her officers. "Activate Protocol Blackthorn." Shock rippled across the room. "General, that's an extinction-level directive," she finished for them. "Yes, and they've earned it." Without waiting for further protest, she keyed in her authorization codes. Hours later, as the twin moons of Eric's 9 climbed into the sky, the Krell army prepared for final assault. Their forward artillery rumbled, anti-air defenses crackled with energy, and their commanders barked orders with impatient glee. Vorsk, perched in his command tower overlooking the battlefield, observed with satisfaction. The humans hadn't fled. "How quaint," Their small defensive lines, their pitiful armored vehicles, their handful of outdated orbital guns. It was laughable. "Signal the advance," he ordered. But before the words fully left his jaws, the ground beneath his feet trembled. A low, unnatural hum filled the air, the kind of sound that raised the hairs on the back of the neck. A resonance deep in the bones. Across the battlefield, massive panels hidden beneath the plane split apart, revealing dark shafts plunging into the earth. "What is this?" Vorsk growled. Moments later, the answer roared from the depths. The sky lit with coordinated missile fire, sleek, human-engineered warheads streaking upwards from hidden silos. They arced in graceful formation, then dove, striking Krell artillery, supply depots, and command tents with surgical precision. The planes erupted in fire and smoke. Shock waves flattened the Krell ranks. Before they could recover, automated gun platforms, hidden beneath false soil, emerged like iron sentinels and unleashed withering plasma barges. Krell soldiers screamed as entire battalions were vaporized. But it wasn't over. High above, human stealth bombers decloaked, dropping kinetic strike pods that punched through Krell shields and armor like paper. The Krell fleet in orbit scrambled to respond, only to find their systems scrambled by cyber attacks launched hours prior. Their communications jammed, their targeting arrays blinded. Within minutes, chaos reigned. Vorsk's eyes widened as realization dawned. This wasn't a desperate defense. It was a premeditated slaughter. "Where's the human general?" he bellowed. His aide trembled. She's coming." Vorsk snarled, his claws digging into the railing. On the outskirts of the collapsing Krell formation, a human dropship touched down. From it emerged Elena Pierce, clad in dark combat armor, a plasma rifle slung across her shoulder. Her posture betrayed no weakness, no pain from her earlier injuries. Behind her, special operations teams fanned out, ghost-like figures armed with rail rifles and smart munitions, each step measured, each target selected with brutal efficiency. Elena's voice crackled over the open comms, broadcast across all frequencies. "Krell forces, this is General Elena Pierce. You had your chance for diplomacy. You chose arrogance. You chose violence." Her eyes burned with unrelenting fury. "Now you face the consequences." Vorsk roared in defiance, ordering his guards forward, but they didn't reach her. Coordinated sniper fire lanced out. Krell guards fell one by one, silent, efficient kills. Explosive drones zipped through the air, targeting remaining officers. Command tents burned. Transport ships exploded on their landing pads. Within an hour, the Krell army was shattered. The few who survived surrendered, their weapons discarded, their eyes wide with terror as they stared at the woman who had orchestrated their downfall. Elena approached the Krell command tower. The remaining defenders too broken to resist. Vorsk stood alone atop the platform, his once proud posture sagging with disbelief. His voice was hoarse, stripped of arrogance. "You tricked us." Elena's lip twitched in something between a sneer and a smirk. "No, General, I warned you." She climbed the final steps, standing eye to eye with the Krell leader. The distant fires reflected in her visor. "You kicked me to humiliate me, to show dominance." She tilted her head. Humans don't measure strength by bruises. Her voice dropped, cold and razor-sharp. "We measure it by how thoroughly we end threats." Vorsk lunged in desperation, but Elena sidestepped effortlessly. Her rifle but connected with his jaw, sending him sprawling. He hit the floor hard, gasping for breath. Elena stood over him. "Consider this your mercy," she said, leveling her sidearm. The shot echoed like thunder. By dawn, the Krell army was gone. Smoldering wreckage littered the plains. The human flag flew over the battlefield, a symbol not just of survival, but of absolute, merciless victory. Elena Pierce stood beside her officers, surveying the aftermath. "Cleanup crews ready?" she asked. "Yes, ma'am," Hayes replied. "And the prisoners?" "Minimal. Most didn't make it." Elena nodded, emotionless. "Good. Let the Dominion know. Eric's, 9 is human territory now." Her eyes hardened. "And if they want it back, they can send another army." A thin, dangerous smile curled her lips. "We'll be waiting."